there's that fucking band. They kind of popped off in like the 2010s, and they had when everyone was doing like metalcore covers of pop songs or like
yes.
post-hardcore covers of
Alice
pop songs.
Knight.
Yes, and they had that one big viral thing,
Yep.
and then they were like, "Let's just do that," and then they just became like a cover band
Yeah.
and a content band,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Ah, that's grim as fuck." Like,
Yeah.
that sucks.
They
I
obviously
mean,
suited
no
them,
shade to
'cause,
them,
like,
but
yeah. But like they obviously are fine with it, like
sure.
from an artistic standpoint.
I
like,
guess,
well, this
yeah.
is our niche and this is where we're gonna sit and that's what we're gonna do, but it just doesn't like hit the spot for some people.
No, and I don't know. This type of thing, the social media stuff, making content, is all like secondary
Mm.
when it comes to like doing this show. Like, I want to do good interviews and I want to have, cool conversations with people and put people onto good music. I don't want to make like a viral reel. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I wake up in the morning to do.
Yeah.
You don't start doing interviews where you just give bands like 1 out of 10 slam.
Yeah, exactly. And Paige and I have talked about this before, and we talked about it with Lachlan on
Yeah.
his pod, like we were talking about before, Dom. Like, we could do that. We could do a pod where we just shit on people's art, and it would get clicks and it would get views
Yes,
because the
yeah.
algorithm loves all of that stuff. But I just refuse to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I would feel like such a fucking fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, you've got to be doing like what you want to do.
Yeah.
And try and figure out how that fits into the context of the world we're in now of reels and viral content and whatever. And if we can mesh those two worlds as best as possible, but we're trying to figure out what that line is and where. How much I can green screen before before it just becomes like
I think
too
we
far.
unfortunately hit that point pretty quickly.
I mean, you've to innovate on the
Yes,
idea.
yeah.
So like, keep the green screen.
Double green screen inception.
Yeah, like, do you paint yourself green to do the green screen? You know what I mean? Like, you got to like innovate on the bit.
I know what it's like to feel alone. Something's calling from the other side. I always feel like letting go. There's a hole in my heart. I wanna follow you down, 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 down. I can't help but the entropy when it's inside of me.
We are recording,
Yeah.
so we are live. Hello, welcome to the Pitch of Discontent. I'm Owen.
Hello.
And we have Liam and Dom from The Comfort in the studio. Hello.
Thanks for having us. Hello.
Thanks for coming in, boys. This is a weird one because normally the guests are sometimes like people that I've met in the past and who I will call like acquaintances and stuff, but they're very rarely like friends of mine.
Yeah.
And you guys are definitely friends.
Thank you.
You
I was worried
you
for
were
a
at
bit.
my wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it feels weird to have like a formal sit down conversation with the two of you. But thanks for coming in.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, dude. We've been talking about this for years.
I think since you started. Yeah.
Since the last
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
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 And then you guys did your own podcast for a little bit, and I was
Yeah.
like, "The fuck? You don't want to come on my show? What's going on?"
We should probably do that again,
Yeah.
actually. But
I love those pod episodes. They're
Yeah.
great.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
we started to sort of find our rhythm, and then I got like halfway through editing, like the 7th episode, and then I just lost interest.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
kind of, it was hard because I think what we want is very different to what a lot of
Yeah,
other
that's
people
fair.
want.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think a lot of those podcasts just kind of turn into like almost therapy sessions and
Yes.
just analyzing each other,
Yep.
which is like what we do. And that's how we talk to each other off podcasts and stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which I find really enjoyable, but I don't know. But it's not
Well,
like you
it's-
can't clip that up, you know?
No,
For sure.
Yeah,
So-
it's funny because when we were doing that, I'd have certain people come up to me and be like, "I absolutely love the podcast," and like I did this like 5-hour drive, and all I did was listen to every one of your episodes like until we finished. When's the next one coming out? And then I know those podcasts only got like 100 listens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so the people that listened to it loved it, but other people, it's just not for them.
Which
Yeah.
I think it's almost a good representation of,
Of
our
our
band
band
as
in
a
general,
whole.
yeah.
It's like we were making this joke last night. The autism screener
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
one question: do you like the comfort?
Yeah.
Brutal.
Hey.
Well, for people that might not know, generally people with autism seem to navigate to other people with autism,
Mhm.
and there might only be one diagnosis in our band, but there's a couple of
Doo-doo.
other there's a couple of other undiagnosed.
There's a couple of question marks floating
yeah,
around. Yeah.
asterisks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely something we've noticed. It's like all the people that have ever been like the biggest fans of ours are like us when we were kids.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be represented across our fan base. They're all sensitive, like shy people.
Yeah.
Which is like what I like. The whole reason for starting the band is I want to give what I got from my favorite bands. I want like the 14-year-old kid who doesn't have friends. Not saying that our fans don't have friends. I did.
No
Like,
shade to the comfort
like when I was
fan.
growing up, Dom was like the third person I met that liked the same kind of music.
Yeah,
I did.
I was the same.
Like I knew no
Went to-
one until I met like one girl who I dated who happened to be friends with Dom. And I met Dom at Soundwave,
Yeah.
and like I didn't have anyone else. I just had music,
Mm.
so I was like, to me, it was just like I want to do this thing that I got from nowhere else in life. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's I mean it's pretty clear for a lot of people who really love us. You can see the same similar, just like sensitive, like they appreciate I mean, for us, we've always been like a lyrics first band.
Yes.
And I think that is what a lot of the connection comes from.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
Yeah. I think like what you guys excel at is making sad music for vulnerable people. And you do that by
putting that
being
on a shirt.
and you do that by being incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
you write incredibly personal kind of music. So that's the thing that I've gravitated towards. And like I like all sorts of different music. I like sad music. I like angry music.
Mm.
But you guys definitely hit a very kind of raw and emotional spot that strikes me as very honest and genuine. And like we were talking about before with like being forced to do like viral Instagram reels and stuff, like sometimes the raw lyrics don't hit because they don't feel real. They don't feel genuine. It feels
Yeah, that
very performative, like
Yes.
like you're filling a kind of role. Whereas
Well-
you guys don't have that.
Well, like
issue.
I literally said this to my psychologist like 2 weeks ago.
Hell yeah, psychologist mention at 8 minutes in. Let's fucking go.
like kind of talking about, because I've had to like not to, I mean, I like process a lot of my life through this band. 'Cause,
Yes.
like it's been going on 10, 11 years, and it existed like for 2 years before it was actually real, because I was writing the songs
Yeah.
beforehand. And like it's this weird thing where like people are like, oh, well, you know, it's not you. I'm like, but it is me, because like it's literally like my journal in a tangible thing that I'm giving to people to say, hey, what do you think of my journal?
Yeah.
And like people can say I don't like it or they do like that. You can't like disconnect yourself from that. Like,
Totally.
so it's not like there's a lot of bands that write songs that aren't personal,
Yes.
and
Which is fine.
which is fine.
Like that's art that can connect with people in a different way.
Yeah.
But like I'm not like writing stuff because it sounds good. It's like I write it and then fit it into the song because the words are more important than anything else.
Yeah.
Because like we grew up, like I'm sure like it's a bit less these days, but like reading the lyric books along to the song
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
first
100%.
and like I don't like bands if they've got shit lyrics. 'Cause, like,
What's
what
the
are you
point?
doing?
What's the point? Yeah.
Exactly. So
I want to kind of talk about the set that we saw yesterday. So you guys were in Melbourne to play Converge Festival.
Yes.
You did Sydney and Melbourne.
Brisbane.
And Brisbane as well. You
Brisbane,
did all
yeah.
three.
Sydney was a side show, so it was like
Okay.
just us, Bad Lover headlined, and a band called Stone Lions from Central Coast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is my first experience seeing, I've seen you guys play a bunch of times.
Mhm.
My first experience seeing you, Dom, as like the front man,
Yes.
as a baseless man, just
Yeah.
kind of whipping around and jumping around and doing what you do. So talk to me about that. Where did the evolution for this new kind of mode of the band come about?
So it's been sort of like slowly happening, I guess, over the last decade, where like we used to try and situate ourselves on stage where it would be like as close to the center for me and Liam, so we could both sort of be there.
Yeah.
We grew up watching like Tom and Mark from
Yes.
Blink, so it was like, okay, that's how you do that. And then slowly, it's like the songs have changed a little bit, and I've started to like sing a lot more than Liam, for example. Like on our new record, it's probably like a 60-40 sort of split.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of Liam, but
Yeah.
it's like it's definitely there was a flipping point where it sort of became a little bit more me. And I hope you don't mind me saying, but Liam also had like a couple of kind of rough years where like on stage it wasn't actually super easy for him to be that charismatic guy at the front.
Hard to kind of flip that switch,
Yeah.
right?
When as soon as you get on stage and be required to do it every night. Sometimes, no worries. But other times he's like, I need you to take over tonight. And that would happen. That sort of happened more and more, I guess, over like a little, probably about a 2-year period.
Yeah.
And after the last tour we did with Chasing Ghosts in June, I think, we set up every show with me at the front, still with the bass, and then it went well, but he sort of said, looking back at all of the content we got filmed and photographed and everything, it made us look old and less engaging, I think. And he's like, I think you need to drop the bass. And I was a little bit...
Drop the bass.
I pushed back a little bit first because I was like, I don't know whether this is just coming from like a insecure standpoint, or whether it's like this is a smart move, or whether it was just like a throwaway. So I was like, look, I'll think about it. But I think so much of our image has been built into being a band. But then over the next couple of days after he said it, I just started like thinking about it, getting excited, and getting more like into the thought of it. So we were like, all right, well, maybe we should bite the bullet. And we had a couple of like conversations with Will and Marcus as well, and said, what do you guys reckon? And sort of asked a few people we were touring with at the same time, and the consensus was like, let's just give it a crack. So last night was my third show without the bass.
Yeah.
So different, very different dynamic for me in the comfort, but it's fun, and I think we can make the show look more engaging and be more fun for everyone else in the crowd.
Well, that was one. A lot of it was also when we filmed like all the content for this album, all the videos. We'd do stuff where we'd film little bits where he wasn't playing bass. I'm like, this just looks.
It looks better. Looks way better.
And like I wasn't. And Dom, like when we started, when I did more vocals, Dom had more room to perform. But the more he took over vocals, the less he would be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I just like, I feel like we're just losing something, and just seeing, and he's just such a good performer that it was like almost stupid not to.
Yeah. I think like respectfully, out of the two of you, he's definitely got more stage energy.
Yeah, well, he did musical theatre.
He is the theatre kid in the band. But no, like, it looked very natural.
Yeah.
It looked like something that you guys have been doing for years.
Oh,
It didn't look like baby steps or like
And
training wheels or anything. It just I was like, oh, that rocks.
And that's why I was so like, I hadn't like when I suggested, I was like, of course he's gonna nail it. Like I had no doubt in my mind. I was just like, it's just gonna be what it is. Like there's no.
Yeah.
I had no concern.
And I think for you too, Liam, like that probably takes a little bit of the pressure off you to allow you to focus on like guitar, the vocals, and like you're not trying to be as dynamic on stage. You're like, well, I can just do my thing. Dom's doing his
100%.
thing. Like it all kind of works.
It's taken away a lot of like the extra worry for me.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's a selfish thing, but it definitely helped a little bit.
Well, it's funny. Like we watched back. We shot like a couple of full songs on the Chasing Ghosts tour.
Yeah.
And there's one we shot like a full song of in Melbourne of Blossom that's on our new record. And you can see me concentrating, like playing the bass and singing it, because it's like just a little bit more involved, and maybe that's on me for not practicing enough. But you can see the concentration instead of like trying to engage with the audience and like do what someone at the front should be doing.
And it just feels like stuff has evolved so much. Like when we started, like you weren't a band if you had tracks.
Yeah.
Like you were like a poser.
Yeah.
And now it's like bands are like 90% tracks.
Which is crazy. And I have thoughts and feelings about that.
Yeah.
But
and so it's just things have changed so much that like you used to like, oh, you had an extra guitar in the tracks, like what? And now there's like it's just such a like that's the standard.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that's like now it's like, well, so what if like he's not playing bass?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. If we had the means to, we would have someone playing the bass and we would have someone playing extra guitar parts as well.
Yeah.
Like, we have spoken about that for years, but like, we're still a small band. We can't afford to take ourselves on tour, let alone two other people. Like, we've spoken to Kyle from She Cries Wolf for years about coming on tour with us when we get a good tour. When we do like a good headline run, we'll get you along, and it's just never eventuated because we can never afford to do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but like that would be a preference if we could have everyone actually playing parts, and it looks better. It always sounds better if someone's actually playing it because there's feeling in it instead of it being an edited track. Yeah, but I think it made sense to make the switch.
And and as you said, like I'm not going to be doing what Dom did yesterday. Like there's probably no world unless I hit the sweetest spot of medication, where everything just aligned for half an hour.
2 Dexies
instead of 1, and like it's just natural for him because of the musical theatre past.
I don't know. I commend you on taking that little bit of risk to kind of like mix it up and try something new, but I think it kind of speaks for itself. Like the show was sick. Even tech difficulties aside, it still looked great. It still sounded great. You guys still had a lot of energy. And I just think that is going to click with the new material as well. Like, be able to kind of like, because it's not a super heavy record.
No.
There's a lot of like vulnerable moments on it, but there's a lot of big kind of uplifting choruses and stuff. So being able to kind of like get in people's faces and kind of run around and like sing like that makes a big difference. Before we talk about the new record, which we're definitely going to, let's talk about the Chasing Ghosts tour.
Sure.
Because I had Jimmy on the show, friend of the show. Check out the episode with Jimmy. He's great. But talk to me about that tour. Was that a cool moment for you guys? Was that like, were there any like lessons learned from doing that run?
So many.
Let's get into it.
I think on a personal level, I mean, I needed that tour real bad at the time. And it was I think it was good because Chasing Ghosts are like our age as well. And I think it's been a while. We don't tour as much as we did, obviously, a couple of years ago. And I think they're in a very similar spot to us, both personally and musically. It's probably one of the most we've connected with another band as well. And I think even watching, something I definitely took notice of was the bits in their set where Jimmy would tell a personal story really were like, oh, that made me give a shit way more.
Yep.
Not that it obviously didn't, but it's just like it just lifts it up and it just kind of stops the show, and being just that genuine kind of thing. I was like, we need to do more of that as well.
Yeah.
And, it was just...
That's why you got the QR codes out yesterday, right? That was
the personal story. It's so personal because I'm like, we're releasing on the same day as Taylor Swift. Please help us.
I couldn't stop smiling when you did that. I was like, this is fucking genius. More bands should be putting QR codes on stage. Let's go.
He didn't think it would work. And I was so confident that like we'd get at least like enough people with phones out. For context, I lifted up a QR code on stage to say pre-save our album, please, because we are releasing October 3rd, the same day as Taylor Swift, and we need all the help we can get. And I think so many people like did what they were told. I'll pull the phone out, pull the camera out, scan the QR code, because they were like, we get it. That sucks.
Yeah.
And like I was able to like sort of bring that in, and it was fun.
Yeah.
We got some pre-saves in Brisbane. I don't know the numbers from Melbourne yet, but it works.
That's good. No, I think when I had Jimmy on the show in kind of the lead up to the tour, I kind of was chatting with him off mic, like once we finished recording, and I was like, oh, do you know the guys in the Comfort? And he's like, no, I don't. And I was like, they're like good friends of mine. I've known them for ages. I was like, they're really, really good dudes. I think you guys will gel. And he was like, hell yeah. He's like, I'm keen to kind of connect. So like, is that kind of a first time experience for you guys to like do a run and kind of connect with the band like that?
We've definitely gelled with bands before. Like when we did the Young Lions tour, like 7 years ago or something. We get along with Young Lions really well.
And they were on the Converge
Yes.
that
Yeah.
stuff as well. Yeah.
That's why we
So-
played it. We got paid to watch Young Lions.
So yeah, like there have always been bands that we've connected with and like learned things from and stuff. But Chasing Ghosts, it just felt like Jimmy is such a veteran
Yeah.
that there was so much to learn, even in the way of like the way he set up the merch table and the way he spoke to fans outside of the set, and like we're not the best at talking to people. So
You don't say.
so when you can watch Jimmy, who's in a lot of ways very similar to us, he's a talker though.
Yeah.
But you can see he's just relaxed. He's fine. He'll talk to whoever about whatever they want to talk about, and he can, if someone's shy or whatever, he'll steer the conversation and he'll just take over the reins. And he did that with us a little bit as well. And it was like a couple of shows in, and we're setting up our merch, and he's like, guys, this needs to look better. And he's like, step out of the way. I'm going to set up your merch for you, and I'm going to show you how to do it so you can do it each time as well. And so he's like,
That's so
let's
sick.
pin these here. Let's do that. Let's have
Love a
this set
band,
up
Dad.
here.
That
And-
rocks.
Yeah. He was awesome. And that was just one of many things we learned from Chasing Ghosts and Jimmy, and like their whole professionalism through everything just kind of lifted our spirits in like wanting to tour and keep playing shows and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, if we can like take this up a notch and do it, put on like a good show and still be like that professional and in every aspect, then like I want to do this for a long time still.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm.
I don't know. I just thought the lineup to me just like made complete sense because that new Chasing Ghosts record is so fucking good.
Yeah.
So good live.
It's
Oh,
like
man.
the best shit they've ever done.
Yes.
And I just kept reiterating that to Jimmy when I had him on the show. I was just
Yeah.
like, man, I gotta say, the new
Yeah.
record fucking rocks. Like it's so
It's
good.
unreal.
But similarly with you guys, like let's pivot now and talk about the new record. So you got a new album coming out,
Mhm.
Let the Love In, October 3rd. Oh, the tatty already? Let's
Yeah.
go.
We all got matching tatties with Cal, the producer, during the recording process.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the record then. One of the interesting things about our ongoing friendship is that you guys keep sending me the demos about a year before the record comes
Yeah,
out. So I
yes.
feel like I've been sitting with this one for a very
We
long
need
time.
the validation.
And look, I feel very honored that you guys would trust me with that and want to like give a shit about anything that I have to say about your music and your art. But this record strikes me as perhaps more kind of optimistic and hopeful than the last.
They're the lyrics I wrote.
There it is. There
Actually,
it is.
you did have. I don't know if
I
you
had some negative
Yeah.
moments, don't worry.
Honestly, for me, I don't hope no one minds me saying this. Like I at least birthed this record, and then Dom raised it.
So you're co-parents, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, I honestly, this record was born out of probably like the darkest mindset I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, I think I've been thinking about this, like how it did kind of, even the title ended up in a kind of hopeful place. I think that's just like, I don't know if it's how everyone does it or just more because I like live through the band and like it's just like I feel like art decides itself a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like feel like when you know a record's done, it's like when it presents itself. And,
Yes.
And it's like when we're like coming out with the title, what's it gonna be? And I think we have this. We don't want to be. I think like even going back a little bit, like with our first record, like that was kind of born a bit of like we're not a post-hardcore band. Everyone keeps calling us like a sad boy post-hardcore band. That's not who we are. So like I wanted to write a positive record. Bad decision. But like I think inherently I don't know if we are hopeful, but we want to be hopeful.
Yeah.
And so like originally this record, I said to Don, I think it should be called like Suffer or Suffering.
Oh yeah.
And then it was going to be
Yeah.
Suffer Survive, which is a Nietzsche quote.
Also a no warning record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was the issue when I was like, oh, that'd be sick, and then we googled it, I'm like,
yeah.
and then it kind of just like has to be Let the Love In.
Yeah.
But even Survive, like Suffer Survive,
Yeah, well, that's
is like
it, yeah.
okay, it's like you can live through that and you can still come out the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still optimistic
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
hopeful.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, I guess it's kind of, we're pretty similar philosophically, and it's kind of like it just had to be that, like,
Yeah.
like when all is said and done, like it's either succumb to it or do you like grit your fucking teeth and let the love in, like, and and I've said this to Don, I don't think I've said this to anyone else. The title actually came from, but like the entire concept kind of came for me. Oh my god, I'm very tired and I don't want to cry right now. A friend of mine who like I almost consider like a mentor.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He used to write this newsletter.
Mhm.
And oh Jesus, I did mushrooms 6 weeks ago, and I've been crying so much since I did it. He wrote this newsletter, and he wrote this one that was kind of like, he's like, it would just be a stream of everything. He was this very philosophical guy. I met him the first time I went and did ayahuasca
Yeah.
in Peru, and he ended up taking over the sanctuary. And
Right.
just this guy you meet, and you're like, I want to be around this person. Just really smart. Give you your time. Give him his time. And he wrote this newsletter, and in it was like, one thing I've realized is I haven't allowed people to love me.
Yeah.
And like my family, my friends, and if there's something I want to do, it's let the love in more. And I was like, fuck.
That's it.
I do that. And then for the last song on the record called Let the Love In, I just had this one, the music was done, I only had this one lyric, and it was, if I could do it all again, the only thing I'd change would be to let the love in. And I had nothing else written. I was like, but I feel like this is cool. I sent it to Dom, and he finished the song off.
Yeah.
Became this song. And so my friend Park, he unfortunately passed away about a year or two ago. But like that kind of summed up what the whole record was. It was through all this crap, like it really, and I don't know if it's like an autism thing for me where it's like very black and white.
Yeah.
It's like there are two choices, like just collapse into it or do as much as you can, do the best you can. And I think that kind of, it just comes through us at the end of the process of art, because we don't want to be a negative band.
Yeah.
So we don't want to put out negativity. And I think especially when we were coming up, there was this whole sad boy thing, and there's a lot of bands that were just, all the lyrics were just very, I know we both know the ones that we're thinking of.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna throw them under the bus.
And we're
still friends.
We're like, we don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like I feel there's a responsibility there, to try to give anyone listening hope, or even give ourselves hope, or just like I don't.
Well, that's what the bands did for us. Is
Yeah.
like growing up in the like late 90s and 2000s was like, yes, there was a lot of like anarchist punk or whatever, but there was also like this like sad but hopeful emo scene that was like happening over the side with like your Motion City soundtracks and your Jack's Mannequins and all that, and like that stuff is like what got you through adolescence. So like if we can show our vulnerability and still show hope for like a more loving future for everything, then we will. And that's what we want our sort of like message to be.
Because you have a thing, you're like, this thing's done, we get to put it out in the world.
Yeah.
Like, is it like a self-loathing, no message can be taken from this, or like, I always feel like there's and that's why I feel so strongly about lyrics.
Yeah.
Because like, you get an opportunity for something that will, quote unquote, live forever. Like, maybe it will be forgotten 5 days after you're dead or whatever, but like, that's there. You have like, it should be meaningful.
Yeah.
there's this stupid quote by it's the beard Rick Rubin. It's like the meaning is the point.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing otherwise? And
Yeah.
that's how I feel like about everything. Like everything for me is meaning, bottom up from there. Like
Yeah. I saw some stuff last night from Pete, who fronts a hardcore band called Homesick from Sydney.
Mhm.
He was doing some posts kind of saying like, you know, like if you operate in like the hardcore scene, you know, which comes from like punk, you know, like you should be taking some kind of position or stance on
Yeah.
something,
Mm.
as small or big as it is. Like if you're not trying to say
Yeah,
something
yeah, I
with
love
your
that.
with your music or your art, then like what are you really kind of doing with it if you operate in that kind of space?
Yes.
And I was kind of chatting to him over those kind of posts, and I was saying like, yeah, like most of my ethics and my political opinions, my philosophy, I can trace back to
Mhm.
music
Yeah.
more so than my parents. You know, like I had a good upbringing, no shade to my parents, but like a lot of the way that I look at the world was informed through the stuff that I listened to in adolescence
Yeah.
and, you know, stuff when I was a young adult and kind of forming my sense of like who I wanted to be in the world,
Mm.
which I'm still doing, by the way. It's a process, not a destination. But yeah, the music is important, and the messages, the lyrics, the stances that bands took. Like I was forced to either, you know, connect with it or not, but that choice was mine.
Mm.
And those lyrics are important. That message is important. The meaning is important. So I think that's a really kind of credible thing that you're trying to do with your music. To the point of like you guys being not necessarily a sad band. Like when I said before that you make sad music for vulnerable people, I stand by that. I'm not going to retract that
oh
statement.
no, we know it's sad.
But I think of the songs that are the most sad, the most vulnerable. They never just end on that point.
Mm.
It's always like, here's this like feeling that I have, or here's this thing that happened to me that made me feel like shit. I'm going to do better, or I'm
Mhm.
going to lift myself out of it, or I'm going to seek connection with someone or something.
Mhm.
Like it's never just sadness for sadness sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's never the end in of itself.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think like that's probably the difference between like your sad boy kind of bands or whatever that write a shitty lyric
Yep.
for its own sake, whereas
Mm.
you guys don't really do that. It's a
Mm.
means to a different end.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think a lot of the time that's quite conscious as well.
Yeah,
It's-
definitely.
yeah, like probably part of it is just that's how we're wired. We are always, or me in particular, I'm always looking for like, okay, where's the bright side in this? Where's the silver lining? Where can I learn and be better? And then if I have come into a song completely negative and I've written all of these things in a negative headspace, when I come back to that song to finish it,
Mm.
I'm like, okay, where can I pull something out and put something positive in to round this out
Yeah.
and really make it feel like it's a lesson and not just a whinge.
Yep.
And then that's probably to help myself a lot of the time, but it
Yeah. Well, like Liam said, like he processes his bullshit through the band.
Yeah.
So like you're doing that process in real time. Like
Yeah.
we're writing those lyrics out and being like, okay, well I got that out. Need
Mm.
to lift myself back up now. So
yeah.
Stay with me here. We can watch the world as it burns around us. It'll all disappear. Stay with me here. We can watch the world as it burns around us. It'll all disappear.
before we talk about specific songs, I guess I wanted to kind of talk about the title still. And to me, like listening to the record this morning in doing prep before you guys came in, I listened to the Love EP directly
Okay.
after it.
Yeah.
Which Liam always self-deprecatingly tells me that that's the only thing people care about, which I disagree. But I just think it's interesting that you can listen to that record, the EP,
Mhm.
and then you can listen to the new album, and there is still such a strong through line between the two of them.
Well,
Not only because like it's called Love, and the new record is Let the Love In, so that through line of yearning and desire and
Yeah.
trying to seek love in people or the world or art
Mm.
has been like a constant through line through the band.
After the last record, which was like pretty sprawling sonically,
Yeah.
for at least for our genre, but like there was stuff that sounded like Coldplay. Then there was like, which is probably my favorite song on the record. Which is also another problem with our band. We're like, oh, this is sick. This sounds like Coldplay, and then we're like, why don't people like us anymore?
I mean, plenty of people like Coldplay.
All
Yeah,
Coldplay. But like, I like that record just went in every direction it could have.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I don't know where because like we obviously took a pretty hard left turn, which I didn't realize at the time after Love into What It Is to Be, and then. So like I wrote most of What It Is to Be. Marcus wrote most of the last record.
What It Is to Be, I'd say, is probably our most collaborative effort between the three of us.
That too, yeah. I guess I started a bit of each song, and then everyone else would kind of finish it off, and then Marcus smashed a lot of Experience Everything.
Yeah.
And I guess we've been in a pretty weird spot after that. A lot of for I guess several reasons, both band wise and personal wise. Like we were coming off this massive high after Experience Everything, and then personally, like literally during our headline tour, I was like the happiest I've ever been in my life, and then had the worst like 6 months to a year of my life ever, like right after it, and a lot of it just killed the band dead, because we were like, okay, we've done this tour, we just did a headline, we just supported Say Us In, let's keep rolling. And then I quite literally could not move my body for 5 to 6 months. And then even worse personal stuff happened after that, and I was like, it felt like the band died even more because we just went silent for a bit. And I was like, I was like, music is what I do. I don't know what else to do with myself. So I'm like, I'm fucking writing another record. But I was like, and I'm get to the point of the question eventually. I was like, I don't know. And I'm a very like, what's the meaning first? I can't just do stuff. And if I did do stuff, it would just sound like Angels and Airwaves. So I've learned I can't just.
What's wrong with that?
No one listens to them anymore. That's what's wrong with it.
And so I was like, what does the comfort sound like in the year of our Lord 2025?
Yes.
I was like, what is the play here? And it was kind of born out of a lot of things. I was like, what does the comfort sound like if they existed now in this year, not 10 years ago?
Yeah.
What do our fans want? What's gone down well? What do I want right now?
Yeah.
So it was kind of, and it was honestly, I was like it was 30%. What if we wrote the record we should have after Love? What does a little bit more modern sounding Comfort sound like? And honestly, a lot of it, another 30% of it was listening to Matty Healy from the 1975 tour, because they did a record called Notes on a Conditional Form, which was like 20 songs, 20 wildly different genres.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do we do after this? And he said, we write the most consistent record we've ever done. I was like, well, that's the play.
Yeah.
We write 10 bangers back to back that like everything we've done distilled into a consistent offering, and like that's what I essentially tasked myself with doing for a couple months. Right after I literally could regain the function of my arm being able to move again. Yeah. And I locked myself away. Obviously didn't write everything, but I wrote a lot, and I just fucking wrote as much as I could, both musically and lyrically, and then just went, there you go. And I think that's why it does potentially tie a lot into Love, because I was like, 30% of it was what if we didn't write What It Is to Be, and we wrote the record commercially we should have.
Yeah, right.
And
which is so strange to me, because I love that record.
So did we. We were writing that record, and people were like, you guys are going to be the biggest thing in the world. And we're like, oh, cool.
You get that a lot in the music industry.
Yeah, well, that's another thing we've
everyone likes
learned.
to tell you, oh, this is going to go so well, this is going to be huge, you guys are going to be playing these stages, and you just can't, like, for any young bands that might listen, most of it's not true.
Yeah, and I think that's
Don't hold any
yeah.
hope to it.
I think
Just,
that's
like, do
probably-
what you would do otherwise.
yeah. One of the biggest things I've learned, just in my life and especially through the band, is I thought people thought like me. Holy fuck, they do not. And when I say something, I mean it, and it's true. And if I don't say it, like, I don't blow smoke up people's asses to be nice. Like, if I don't think something's good, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
And it
That's
turns
just
out,
not how the industry works.
turns out, people will tell you fucking anything that benefits them.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I think I wanted to like revitalize the band, and I wanted to try to write our best record ever. Our most because I think that was our issue. We wanted to go in so many different directions all the time, and I was just kind of like, no, we have to do this. We have to give it a hard crack to like just lock in, because it was more, I think, especially learning more about my brain and how it works. Like when I was younger, it was all just pure like novelty and inspiration. When that hit, I would just do it. This was more like, this was discipline. This record, like this was locking the fuck in. Like this is grind set mindset.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But like, it was like, I am going to write this record even if I like am not feeling it every day. I'm gonna sit there until it's like what it's meant to be.
You let the love in, bro.
I did, yeah. And then and
Took him long enough.
but yeah, it was just like, I need to write this record, like, because like this band is my life. Like I can't let it die. And I want to try it the hardest I've ever tried and give it my all. So at least for myself, I can say I tried as hard as I fucking could.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try to write the best record we have. And I don't know if it is. I don't know, like when you're on the press tour, you meant to say it is. I honestly think that. I mean, it's obviously hard to judge. I love a lot of this record, most of it, but yeah, it was what happens if we wrote this right after Love a little bit, and then a lot of other things, and I was writing what we wanted to hear as well. Like that's what our band is. It's what do we want to listen to for the most part.
Which should be at the core of every band.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Like, and I've said this before. Like, as cringe as people might think it is, you know, like if you're not like fucking with the music that you make and feeling like you want to put it on and be like, fuck, this rocks, like, what are you doing?
Dude, that was always a weird thing for me, where I'd hear bands be like, oh yeah, I listen to this music and this music and this music, but I play pop punk. I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's like, I listen to the music I write. Like, I'm like, this isn't I think a lot of bands are products, whereas we're a genuine kind of thing. And we're actually just talking to someone before this who, funnily enough, said he doesn't really listen to his own music too much.
Yeah.
But like, that's who I'm writing. I'm writing music for myself.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I listen to the fuck out of our music, especially like when it's like just.
It's been my
out.
running record for like a year now.
Yeah, I think like people would maybe think that that's like egotistical or something. But I just think like if you know, as someone who doesn't make music, right? Like I don't have that inclination in me. But if I did, it would be coming from a place of like, I want to hear this, and when I hear it played back to me, it produces all of the same feelings and emotions that I got in creating it.
Yeah.
And that's 100% it, man. Like
it's like this feedback loop,
yeah,
right?
like I realized when I was younger, I would get like, I mean, and that's what you like happens when you replay a song, you know, and like the meme of every ADHD and autistic person listens to the same song repeat for an hour. Imagine if you could write your own song to do that too.
Yes.
Like that's what it is. Like I get so much euphoria and dopamine like when I write a sick song and I just want to listen to it because I'm like, I can write my own brain chemicals. Like, so it's such a cool thing to be able to do. And
I drove home from work last week and I just put on the Spotify's "This Is the Comfort" playlist. And I was like, whatever comes on, I'm gonna listen to.
Just juicing your own strings.
See what,
I do find it hard to listen back to older stuff. But like,
I haven't done it in years, so I was
fair.
like, I'm just gonna listen to whatever comes on. I'm not skipping anything. Doesn't matter if it's like our first EP or if it's off like the songs we've just released. But because some songs came on, I was like, I wish people like this more so we could play this.
Yeah.
Like,
But there's something so special in the period before something comes out.
Yeah.
Because not tainted by anything else of how successful it was, and you're just in this little bubble like, this is sick. And then it comes out and it can change, or like songs you don't think are going to do well go really well. Songs you think are going to be the biggest one ever, no one listens to, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like when you're just in that little bubble of like, when I get to send something to Dom and Marcus, I get something back from them, I'm like, oh, this is sick. And it's such a cool thing. Especially like when there's songs where like you had nothing to do with, like probably more on the last record, but like there's songs I had nothing to do with, and it's so sick. You're like, I'm still kind of a part of this, but it's not really.
I get to play it.
Yeah.
yeah, like the Coldplay one.
Like
It
the
was essentially
Coldplay
just
one.
Marcus and then me.
Yeah, and I reckon that's a top like 5 comfort song, beginning to end, but like we'd never get to play it, and no one listened to it. But I think that's like one of our best songs ever, and that's just Dom and Marcus. And I'm like, it's like one of my favorites.
It is an incredibly consistent record, and I can definitely see this synthesis that you're talking about of like trying to kind of, not for purely nostalgic reasons,
No,
but as an exercise of like, if we were to take what we were doing in 2015 and transport it to 2025 with all of the lessons and the bits and pieces that we've learned in that period, on album number 3, what would that sound like?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what the record does. I went back through our like group chat where you sent through the link to the record like fucking ages ago, like a year ago. And the messages that I was sending to you guys where you were like, what do you reckon should be the single? Like what's your favorite? And there's like some songs on there that I was like, these are the ones that I really like. A bunch of those ended up becoming singles. There's a couple of deep cuts that I still really like. Then there's like messages from me being like, but honestly, like anything on this record could be a single.
And that was kind of part of the goal as well.
Yeah.
Because like it's hard, like you do have to evolve a little bit if you want to continue getting to play shows, and so music's really changed from when we were kids. So if a song isn't a single, it almost doesn't exist. So you kind of have to write, because I grew up being like, band singles were always my least favorite songs of theirs.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a big album deep cut guy.
Yeah, and so like it was really confusing when we started putting out music, because like the singles were the ones that would get listened to so far and above. I'm like, oh, but I thought everyone was going to like this song, but because it wasn't a single, no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
To tie in a lot of things you've asked, like obviously being friends and just being in a band, recording and growing, you learn way more what people's strengths are.
Yep.
And that's obviously why Dom sings a lot more now, and it's me realizing what my strength is more in the music writing, and I think I can lock in for, I still wrote a lot of lyrics on the record, but like I think one of the best things, maybe personally and maybe more indicative of my relationship with Dom, is like I can send him a song where I wrote the first verse and 2 lines of a chorus and I've got nothing else, and he's just like, cool. And then he finishes it like the one person wrote the entire thing.
Yeah.
And because like that's what his strength is.
Yeah.
And that's not my strength.
But that's also like 17 years of writing music together as well.
And that's what I mean.
You have to have that trust built over a long
it's like
period of
half a
time.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we've known each other since like he was like 14, 15. I was like 17.
Yeah.
Don't
But I mean, like,
cancel me.
Liam groomed me.
But that's an incredible amount of time to be having like an artistic partnership together.
Definitely.
So I don't know. I think the record kind of stands on its own, in my opinion. It is incredibly consistent. I think all of the singles are super strong. I think there's no weak spot. There's no skips on the record. There's no like pointless interludes or any of that shit. Like it is just like 10 tracks, of like this is the comfort
Yeah.
right now.
Because I think that was a massive problem for us previously. It was just so inconsistent.
Mm,
So if you liked one of the songs, you might not like the others.
mm.
And we
Yeah,
didn't realize that till
that's
like
true.
2 albums in. And so I was like, I want everyone to like every song on the record and be able to just fuck with every song.
Yeah.
Rather than only being into like one or two. Because we always like, especially with maybe the last record, like we find we have like 2 sets of fans.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ones that like Your Love and Other Drugs and co, and ones that like your Supernovas and stuff like that. And we love writing both kinds of music. Maybe more, unfortunately, the Supernovas.
Yep.
But no one likes it. Like the majority don't like
Not
it.
no one, but yeah, it's
The hardcore the devout fans love that stuff.
Yeah.
But like they'll say, "Why don't you play this more?" I'm like, "Like 5 people listen to it."
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. It's hard to.
If you could see the stream numbers, you wouldn't play it either.
and that's unfortunately the thing we learned is like the stuff that we thought was gonna be big songs because we loved them, it just didn't translate that way. So I was like, how do I bridge that gap?
Yeah.
Like, how do we love this and other people love it at the same thing?
So with the record coming out on October 3rd,
Mhm.
you've had a couple of chances now, like the Chasing Ghost tour, the Converge shows that we were talking about, where you've been able to both debut kind of the new mode of the band, like
Yep.
we were talking about, but also play a lot of the new material. So like the show you played yesterday was pretty much all new album stuff,
Yes.
and then 2 EP tracks at the end.
Mhm.
And I mean, like you had a short set, but you still like front loaded it with a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
So like having played some of those new songs, are you starting to get a sense already about like the ones that connect and the
Yes.
ones
Well,
that are clicking?
That was actually another thing. It was learning that like after we put out What It Is to Be, we're like, these songs don't translate as well live.
Mm.
And we didn't think about it too much because we're such a, and I think it flows onto so many things. It's like it's why we have the fans we do. Our band is you're sitting alone in your room, like going through some shit, listening to us kind of band.
Yeah,
Like
sad
that's-
music for vulnerable people.
Yes,
I'll
exactly.
keep
Thank
saying
you.
it.
And like I think for this one, I was like, we need something that does both.
Yeah.
We need the listening, but we need to translate it live. And so a lot of that was like, I want this to translate live.
Mm.
And yeah,
I
it's fun.
think having played now a number of the newer tracks, it feels like they suit a live context better than the last 2 records, like by far and away.
Mm.
And whereas like from the last 2 records we put out, we would play the singles until they were not popular anymore or whatever, and then they would sort of drop out of our set, and they never really translated to being like fun, high energy, and also songs that people remembered.
Yep.
So with this record, I think a lot of these are stayers. Like they're going to
Mm.
stay in the set for a long time, and even if people don't know them as well, they're probably still fun to watch live,
Yeah.
even if you don't know it. Whereas the other ones are like, you probably have to know this to love watching it live.
Mm. Are there any deep cuts on the record that aren't singles that you guys are excited to kind of put in the set?
I would love to play Let the Love In
Mm.
as like the closer of every set ever.
Yeah. I think the back end of the record, which is it I Wish I Let You Love Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I Let the Love In.
Yeah.
Let the Love In. Incredible kind of like 1-2 kind of finish at the end of the
Mhm.
record. And those are both Liam heavy songs, right?
No.
No?
I Wish I Let You Love Me is a bit. I do the
Yes.
verses.
Yes.
Let the Love In's almost all me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do the little pre-chorus bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another favorite of mine is Alchemy. I think that's a great
Oh,
song.
thank
Sick.
you.
Okay.
Love that song.
I love that song.
Yeah.
No one else does.
Oh no. I love it. I just love all the others slightly more.
Yeah.
It's like-
Alchemy to me, that was where I kind of had the light bulb moment of like, oh, I think there is like some connection and through line to the Love EP because it's
Oh,
probably the
yeah,
most
okay.
heavy-ish song on the
Yeah.
record.
Yes.
And then that's when I kind of went back to the EP and it all kind of clicked for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that song. I think
Yeah.
like it's very much in this vision that you were describing, Liam, of
Yeah.
like taking what would have been the next extension from the Love EP
Yep.
had you not done What It Is to Be,
Mm.
which still slams, by the way. I don't know why we're talking shit on that record. It rocks. It's a great record. Listen to it. yeah, I think there's a whole bunch on the album that is going to be cool to play live.
Oh
that
yeah,
people will
like
get,
that's the thing.
get
We
a
could
chance
we
to
could play that front to back. I don't think we've had a record we could do that live.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Unless-
Every time we put out a record, we're like, okay, the album tour, if this is going well, we're playing this front to back, and it's never gone well. So fingers crossed that in March, April next year, we're playing Let the Love In front to back. But
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a song that wouldn't be like good live on this record.
Yeah, I completely
which
agree.
Which we're stoked for. Like we were trying to figure out what songs we can shove into this little run that we did.
Yeah.
And obviously we played Garden State, which is coming out in like a week or two, because that made the most sense. But we're toying with putting in I Wish I Let You Love Me for this one because
we practiced both. No, we didn't practice.
no, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We just listened to them side by side to see. But yeah, I think I Wish I Let You Love Me would be a very fun song to play live.
Yeah,
And we will definitely be playing it at some point.
incredible. Well, we are coming up close on an hour.
Whoa.
So, yeah, pods. Crazy, right?
Sorry.
So I guess like Let the Love In comes out on October 3rd.
Mhm.
Independent release, and you've also got the vinyl
Mhm.
as well. You have any plans for post-album? Like any shows for the end of the year? You just mentioned March, April. Is that
We're looking at early next year for a headline run.
okay?
Very tentative at the moment, but we'll definitely
Sure.
be doing a run.
I mean, you got to at least do the album tour
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and play the record.
Yeah.
We just always do this stupid thing where we end up releasing the record really late in the year,
Mhm.
and
So
then
there's
you,
this dead zone.
yeah, so
where
you
you can't
kind
play
of
shows.
lose.
The Christmas period is like a weird period to
Yeah.
try and like do shows and tours and
Mm.
stuff.
Yeah.
So we probably would have done a headline if we didn't do these shows, but
Mhm.
they came in like we could not play these, so
Yeah.
then just
Kind of
like-
perfect timing too.
Yeah,
to
very.
like do those shows on those kind of bills and lineups and be able to kind of like blow the cobwebs off the new stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, I'll have links in the description for people to pre-order the record, check out the singles. I'll drop the videos in there, all that good stuff. We're going to keep things going on the Patreon. I've got some questions to ask both of you about deep cut records
Oh, sick.
that may or may not have informed the new record, but we'll see. If you want to check that out, go to the TPD Patreon, sign
Check
up,
it out.
check it out. We're going to be having fun. Liam, Dom, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Hello, Owen popping in to say, please sign up for the TPD Patreon. This is what helps us keep the lights on and keep the show going. The link is at the bottom of your screen right now, patreon.com/tpdpod. All of our patrons get exclusive access to Side B of our roundup episodes, so you get a few extra tracks, as well as our feature album discussion and the full show experience. Our patrons also get exclusive access to behind-the-scenes, off-the-cuff chit-chat from all of our guest episodes. But the patrons are the ones who make all of this happen. For as little as $5 a month, you can sign up to the TPD Patreon, and it really helps us out, really helps us keep the show going. So shout out to all of our patrons, shout out to our executive producer patrons, you're the real ones, and yeah, thank you so much for watching the show.